Be humble by the words that you had written, by the syllables you mumbled. Yeah, I was ready in my heart to have my heart invaded by the fervor of your passion. Yes, I came to be persuaded. Voice, something switched in my perception, and I knew I was a victim of a beautiful deception. All my once exact beliefs, like tangled threads unraveled, I walked out stunned and liberated, and so began my travels. The river on your right and the highway at your shoulder and the front light in your sights, high and near. Keep your eye on the road. Remember what you told her. This is all in code, my dear. Get yourself a coat, said the handsome taxi driver, and he sighed like 7 bridges, like a natural born survivor. As we drove into the night, I could feel the forest jangling, all the choices laid before me, and their consequences dangling. We came upon a stricken ship that must have once been splendid. The captain, as he died, said, "Boys, our revels now are ended." I heard a wild, holy band playing jazz that was outrageous, that recalled the days of rapture when our love was still young and contagious. Hey! Keep the river on your right and the highway at your shoulder and the front line in your sights, high and near. Keep your eye on the road. Remember what you told her. This is all in code, my dear. In a dim-lit motel room, 2 sad lovers were discoursing on the dignity of exile and the merits of divorcing. She said all certainty is gone, but he leapt up still denying, cried, "I won't believe the flame I lit is dead or even dying." She left him pooling in the dust, and with rucksack packed begun her bitter journey to the border, which is where I would have won her. She was Aphrodite, Helen, Thetis, Eve among the Saturns. She was Venus in a V-neck sweater. She was all that ever mattered. Keep the river on your right and the highway at your shoulder and the front light in your sights, high and near. Keep your eye on the road. Remember what you told her. this is all in code, my dear. Like Dean Moriarty's ghost, I came in quest of secret knowledge in the winter of my journey to a crumbling druid college. There I read the books of lore and contemplated in seclusion, but I took my leave embittered, still in love with my illusions. In the drizzling Irish rain, as the tender dawn was breaking, in a doorway I stood spellbound by the ancient music they were making. I took my breakfast with the gods on a blushing summer morning, till the wind blew them all away. I had misread every warning. Hey! Keep it river on your right, and the highway at your shoulder, and the front line in your sights, high and near. Keep your eye on the road. Remember what you told her, this is all in code, my dear. Under cold electric light, I watched the scenes mutating like an old-time frontier ballad or a carousel rotating, as if in a moment from a film. With astonishing precision, the camera zooms in close and a figure comes into vision. I'm in Tokyo, it's dawn, and it's raining hallelujahs down the bright lit neon canyons along the sidewalks of Shibuya. I'm trying to take a stance, rise above my contradictions, but I'm just a bunch of words in pants. Most of those are fiction. Keep the river on your right, and the highway at your shoulder, and the front line in your sights, high and near. Keep your eye on the road. Remember what you told her, this is all in code, my dear.
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here. You just heard the Waterboys' brand new album, Modern Blues, is out. And that song was Long Strange Golden Road, which is 10 minutes and 23 seconds and worth every second of it. Long Strange Golden Road is the final track on this brand new album, which is Modern Blues by the Waterboys. And I believe it is their 12th album, but I'm not sure about that because at the station I think we have a few more than that, some promo copies. We have Mike Scott on the line of the Waterboys. He can clear this all up. Mike, welcome to WBSD.
Thanks, Tom. I'm afraid I can't clear that up for you because I've lost count myself.
Okay. But we have played the heck out of An Appointment with Mr. Yates. We played Sweet Dancer off of that one. And Politics. And what a neat achievement that was.
Thank you. It was a labor of love. I worked for several years on that album.
Yeah, and you are a literature major, and I know a lot of your songs are very literate.
Oh, I'm not a literature major. I did go to college, but I bunked out after a year. I was more interested in rock and roll.
Well, you are a major literature bunker. How's that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Waterboys Modern Blues is a great album, and we're bold enough around here at WBSD that we're going to actually be playing and charting that 10.5-minute song.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and not everybody does that sort of stuff, unless you're into Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and I know you are.
I like long songs as well. Van Morrison done some great long songs when he was young.
Oh, Astro Weeks and on and on.
Yeah, Listen to the Lion.
There you go. Well, I've been listening to Modern Blues lately, and what a great album, and it really is. And I've been a Waterboys fan forever, but you got a good one here, Mike.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And tell us a little about, for our listeners, who the Waterboys are or were, and who you are, Mike.
Well, the Waterboys is the band that I formed in London, England, in the early mid-1980s, and I set out back then to have a band that would change lineup constantly, because I always figured that the music was going to change, and so the personnel should change too. The one constant has been myself. My songwriting is the center of the band. And I've had many great musicians pass through the lineup, and the current band is probably, I think, the finest we've ever had. We've got Steve Wickham on fiddle, who's worked with me on and off for about 30 years. Ralph Salmon's one of the top drummers in Britain. And we've got the great David Hood from Muscle Shoals on bass, and two really killer Southern American players, Brother Paul from Memphis on keyboards, and Zach Ernst, who's a really cool young guitar player from Austin, Texas.
Mike, you're an unusual band because you actually pride yourself in the fact that you've had so many people work on your different projects, and I think that's great, get so many people involved.
Well, I've liked it that way, and some people stayed for a long time, some people pass through very quickly, and it's good. Like, it keeps the music fresh, keeps the music changing.
That's for sure. And you've had critics have made the point out of you had a lot of different changes, but the constant is the songwriting.
Yeah, and my voice.
And your voice. I want to talk about that a little bit later, but you're still a freak, Mike, and that is the next song we're going to be charting off Modern Times. Here is Still a Freak, the brand new album, Modern Blues. I think it said Modern Times. We'll edit that out. Modern Blues. Mike Scott, the Waterboys.
Every human being that was ever born, I'm unique. Things disappear, but I'm still here. I'm singing my praises now, honey. You can do it when I'm dead. I'm not bitter, but I'm no quitter. I'm still ahead. I'm still awake. I've known all along. If you ain't crazy, there's something wrong. And there's no such thing as a coincidence or a mistake. And all this confusion is all just illusion. I'm still awake. Hey! Still a freak, I ain't being gagged. I'm still flying the flag. The game's moving so fast, who knows where it's gonna be this time next week. Empires rise and fall, but through it all, I'm still a freak, still a freak, still a freak.
.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here talking with Mike Scott, the Waterboys' brand new album, Modern Blues, Still a Freak. Great groove, great keys, great piano. Is that Paul Brown doing keys? Who's doing that?
Yeah, it's Brother Paul is doing some of it, and Felsen Fingers McNeil is doing a few other parts. That's Brother Paul's alter ego.
There you go. Okay, Still a Freak. Good songwriting. How do you keep doing it, Mike? You keep getting fresh and going in different directions, and I love it.
Well, I still listen to a lot of music. I'm still listening to new music all the time, discovering things, discovering great music from the past that I never even knew about, as well as discovering freshly made music. And so the inspiration keeps coming in, and it keeps coming out. Do you know what I mean? I get turned on by stuff, and then I write stuff.
And here's the cool thing, Mike. You have introduced a lot of people. Your band has been so influential. Like Velvet Underground, Lou Reed said, only 1,000 people bought the album, but everybody formed a band. And the Byrds and Jayhawks and on. But you've been one of those bands. You've been one of those performers and songwriters who have influenced so many people. And by the way, young man, you have a young, new crowd with this album. In fact, next to me over here, one of my DJs, his name is Sawyer Gilding, and he is 17 years old. And Sawyer, welcome to Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Sawyer. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
And
Fine, thanks.
he loves the album.
Oh, it's a great album.
Right.
Thank
you, man.
In fact, Mike, he's been listening to it more than I have.
Okay.
And we started with this one, and we're going to jump into it right now. This is a song we've been charting for I don't know how many weeks, a few months. It's called November Tale. And the album, Modern Blues, The Waterboys.
arrived with its expression of her feeling. I swear I had no idea she'd been holding and concealing such a storm of words unsaid that, absurd as it appears, had been blowing in her head for 27 years. I knew I had to face her, so I grabbed my Davy Crockett, threw a scarf around my neck and $20 in my pocket. Found her in the same old place, pamphlet in her fist. When she saw my windblown face, she said, "Wow, look at who it is." Meet me on the match parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the Harlequin and the clown. Pile all the blunders that we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down. In the gray November light, she was older, still alluring. Her hair gray and longer than it ever had been during the days we loved and slept in her bed of painted wood, in the little place she kept in a crumbling neighborhood. We walked along a while like we were old companions, but I could feel the gulf between us yawning like a canyon. She with her church and code, her extravagant beliefs, me a creature of the road, a child of dust and grief. Meet me on the mad parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the Harlequin and the clown. Pile all the blunders that we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down. She smoked a cigarette and blew smoke rings at the ceiling. Said, "If your problem is long-standing, man, why don't you try kneeling? By your face I see you're still a sinner in the mist, setting up your little will as king in place of his." I said, "I've heard about sin down the long wheels of ages, a cracked book of lies with 1,000 twisted pages." Then I looked her in the eye and asked her clear and plain, "If your religion was a lie, then what would remain?" She said, "I've got my beating heart and two loving hands to heal with. There's nothing in my day that I ain't got the strength to deal with." I said, "Darling, I profess the same applies to me. And as for all the rest, we agreed to disagree." Meet me on the mad parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the Harlequin and the clown. Pile all the blunders that we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down. Yes, we'll burn the damn thing down.
89.1 WBSD, Tom Gilding here along with.
Sawyer Gilding.
and Mike Scott of Waterboys and November Tale. What a great lilting beat.
That's a co-write with an English songwriter called James Maddock, who's based in New York. It's his music, my lyric. The arrangement of the music is the Waterboys' own, though. We took it to Memphis when we recorded it.
We know James Maddock well. In fact, we're playing one of his songs right now off his album, The Green, Driving Around.
Uh-huh.
We played My Old Neighborhood from his last album.
Oh, yes.
What a great guy he is.
He's a good friend of mine, and we've done quite a lot of songwriting. He's got 3 co-writes on Modern Blues.
It's so funny that tie-in, because I didn't even know. In fact, I had to look it up. I saw his name on your lyrics, and I looked, and I thought, we play James Maddox. We've been playing him for years. Tell us, Mike, how you kind of got started back now. Now, you're originally from Scotland, but you live in Dublin now?
Yeah, well, I'm from Edinburgh in Scotland, and when I began the Waterboys, I was living in London. Then after a few years, I moved to Dublin, Ireland, and we were based in Dublin for 5 or 6 years, and I think that's why a lot of people seem to think the Waterboys is an Irish group, because we toured from there. And then I lived in New York for a couple of years, then I was back in Scotland for a while, back in London for a while, and in 2008 I moved back to Dublin, and I've been here since.
Well, we're glad that you put out this album, and I wondered about several of your songs, if they had a personal touch. Sawyer's going to introduce Rosalind right now.
I want to ask you about November Tale.
Okay.
Because this is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's just got a great sound to it, and I love that it just starts off with the words "come here." But I want to get deeper, because this is a really, really deep story. Is this based on personal things?
You know, Sawyer, the first couple of lines are based on something that happened. A very old friend of mine contacted me and was very upset about something that had happened a couple of decades earlier, and I was surprised that someone could hold a piece of anger in their head for so long, and that sparked the first verse. But the rest of the song, the encounter between the man and the woman, their difference of philosophy, that's fictional.
Okay.
But it illustrates how I feel about things.
It's a great song. It's so well written. I actually thought that actually transpired. So
It's convincing then.
It's very convincing. My line, because I'm a child of the 50s, I wonder what you mean by I grabbed my Davy Crockett.
Well, that's a Davy Crockett hat.
that's what we thought.
I was hoping so. I had one of those when I was a kid. Your birthday is pretty close to mine, December 19th. You're December 14th, and born in the 50s.
Yeah.
And that's Davy Crockett hat. Okay, that's good. I didn't know if that was some Irish or English or Scottish thing, or if it was American. You gotta lighten it up a little bit in there. Grab my Davy Crockett. Good song. We've been playing that song. It gets in your head.
Good.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
The next song we want to play is one I'm really interested in. It sounds like it's some kind of a personal message. Rosalind, you married the wrong guy. Is this based on something? Not that it's any of my business, Mike.
No, this is fictional as well. But I've known people who were in similar situations. I've probably taken a pinch from someone's situation, pinch from someone else's, and rolled them up into a song.
Well, it's a great song. His head is filled with useless air.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know people like that.
Yeah.
Perfect put down. Anyway, here's the song. Rosalind, you married the wrong guy. Mike Scott, the Waterboys, the album Modern Blues. And when we come back, Mike, I'm going to ask you how people can get this album in their hands. Here is Rosalind, you married the wrong guy.
His head is filled with useless air, his philosophy beyond repair. You'll pine and he won't care. Get out before he crops your hair. You married the wrong guy, Rosalind. When are you gonna see you married the wrong guy, Rosalind? Pick up your skirts and flee. His hands are full of drifting sand. Soon he'll be making his demands and have you saying preposterous things. Get out before he snaps your wings. You married the wrong guy, Rosalind. When are you gonna see you married the wrong guy, Rosalind? Pick up your skirts and flee. His courtliness is just an act. A sea of hubris lies behind his act. When you least expect it, he'll attack. Get out with your self-worth intact. You married the wrong guy, Rosalind. When are you gonna see you married the wrong guy, Rosalind? Pick up your skirts and flee. Down the misty avenue, through the city fog, I saw you promenading like the princess and the frog. Some of us are volunteers, some of us were pressed. But what are you doing in that cuckoo's nest? His eyes are full of illusions, lies. His conscience long since compromised, with all the grief that implies. Get out before your reason dies. You married the wrong guy, Rosalind. When are you gonna see you married the wrong guy, Rosalind? Pick up your skirts and flee. You married the wrong guy, Rosalind. When are you gonna say you married the wrong guy, Rosalind? You should have married me. You married the wrong guy. You married the wrong guy. You married the wrong guy, wrong guy, wrong guy, wrong guy, wrong guy, wrong guy, wrong guy. You married the wrong guy.
.1 WBSD, Tom Gilding.
Sawyer Gilding and
And we're talking with Mike Scott, the Waterboys. Modern Blues is the brand new album, and this is Rosalind, You Married the Wrong Guy. Rather cool background sounds. It's kind of spooky in a way, very Dylan-esque, if I dare say. And a lot of good keyboards, and there's organs. Is there two things going on in the back there?
There's Brother Paul's Hammond organ, and there's a lead guitar. You're probably hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Lead guitar is going boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
And background singers.
Yeah, background singer's a dude called Jeff from Nashville.
Excellent. It's by the way, whose idea was to put some singers in these songs in the background, because it was a good
my
move.
idea. Yeah.
Very good. Sawyer's got a question.
Well, it's just another lyrical question. It's not really a question, it's more of a compliment. I like how the song, it builds, and then right at the end, at the last line, you say, "You should have married me." I'm always waiting for that, and then it comes right at the end, and it's cool. I just wanted to tell you.
Thanks. Yeah, a little twist there at the end, yeah.
Yep.
You've done that in a couple songs from the past. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And "The Man Is in Love" comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right.
And
And that last line in Rosalind, it's not necessarily meaning that the singer is jealous and really that's behind him telling the woman that she married the wrong guy. It might also be that he's saying, look, if you'd married me, you wouldn't be having all these problems.
Exactly. Or maybe you would. I don't know. Tom Gilding with Mike Scott of Waterboys. Mike, how can people get a hold of this album, Modern Blues?
Well, it should be in their record shop, so they can get it online, or they can get it at the Waterboys website. It's on Harlequin and Clown Records, which is our label, but it's distributed through Cobalt, which is a big international company, so it should be easy enough to get.
Can I ask you about the Harlequin and the Clown, because that I forgot to ask is a line from November Tale. Did you get that?
Yeah, that's where I got it from. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. What's the difference between a harlequin and a clown?
A harlequin is a character in a Venetian play, and a clown is more a straightforward circus comedian.
Very good.
So the harlequin's a little more sophisticated. The clown is more slapstick.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background? We talked a little bit about literature and the album appointment with Mr. Yates, also as a history teacher as well. I'm interested in D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Where did you get into? Did this all start when you were younger, the reading, or as you went along?
Yeah, always was a big reader, Tom. I started reading even before I went to school. I was reading. And my mother was and still is an English college lecturer in literature. So I grew up in a house full of books and music, and that's my two big inspirations.
Well, I tell you, it sure shows in your writing. And again, I mentioned the Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, an American. You're kind of interested in Native American.
Yeah, I have been for a very long time, yes.
That's awesome. And, of course, the Yates thing. Now, Steve is also on that the appointment with Mr. Yates, right?
Oh, yes, he is. Wickham, yes.
And how did you two get together? Because what a combination. I mean, we saw you, by the way, in Milwaukee. And on that stage, it kind of slants down.
Yes.
And I don't know how you kept your balance, but Steve did a pretty good job there with the fuzz fiddle. What a dynamic performer.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's my other wing.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We're going to take you back, though, to Bring 'Em All In, because I just fell in love with this song when I heard it back in, I'm not going to say the year, I think it was 95, 96, somewhere there.
Probably, yes.
And what a powerful song, but it's simple. And straight.
Yeah, it's a one-man song. I play all the sounds on that record.
And that was your first solo album?
Well, yeah, but, the first Waterboys album was really a solo album, too, so it's the first album that came out under my own name.
There you go. Well, here it is. Bring 'Em All In, the title track, 1995, Mike Scott, Bring 'Em All In.
Bring the little fishes, Bring the sharks, bring them from the brightness, bring them from the dark. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them from the caverns, bring them from the heights, bring them from the shadows, stand them in the light. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them out of Parda, bring them out of store, bring them out of hiding, lay them at my door. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, 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 bring them all, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring the unforgiven, bring the unredeemed, bring the lost and nameless, let them all be seen. Bring them out of exile, bring them out of sleep, bring them to the portal, lay them at my feet. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in my heart. Bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all in, bring them all into my heart. Bring them all in, 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 bring them all into my heart.
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here,
Sawyer Gilding.
talking with Mike Scott, Waterboys, brand new album, Modern Blues. We took you back 20 years to bring them all in, and just a powerful message, a litany.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And we have, by the way, and I talked a little bit off the air, we have played several songs from the Waterboys through the years, quite a number of songs, but bring them all in. We also played City Full of Ghosts, Dublin, off of that, which could fit anywhere on a Bob Dylan album, by the way. Now, have you been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan? Because Modern Blues really captures, I think, a lot of his songwriting, or your songwriting.
Do you know, I used to listen to Bob a lot when I was a teenager. He was my absolute favorite. But I don't listen to him so much these days.
And who were your influences other than Bob?
Beatles, David Bowie, the Stones, soul music, black soul music, Tamla Motown.
Excellent, excellent. We have the song that we're going to be charting next, Mike. We've been playing, as Sawyer said, November Tale for a long time, but here is Beautiful Now. Can you tell us a little bit about this before we play it?
It's a song about a beautiful woman who's perhaps in her 40s or 50s or 60s, and the narrator of the song finds an old picture of her as a young woman before he knew her, and she's very beautiful in this picture, but he thinks she's more beautiful now because she wears her experience and her wisdom in her face.
Well, look down the carousel of years, and darling, there you are. A dancer crying salty tears, a vagabond, a star. That's nice.
Thank you.
That's nice stuff. Here is Beautiful Now, Mike Scott, the Waterboys, the brand new album, Modern Blues.
Today, taken years before I found you. You wore a tangerine beret. The lights of angels played around you. Hair tumbling along like waves and breaking on your brow. You were beautiful then, sweet angel. You're way more beautiful now. Your kiss was like the morning dew. Your lips were soft and wet. A faithful breeze was blowing through the desert when we met. Danger closed around us. We made it through somehow. You were beautiful then, sweet angel. You're way more beautiful now. Look down the carousel of years, and darling, there you are. A dancer crying salty tears, a vagabond, a star. The slayer of mediocrity, of every sacred cow. You were beautiful then, sweet angel. You're way more beautiful now. By water's edge, a spirit dances just beyond my reach. From beach to promenade and back from promenade to beach. A ghost of golden hair, a ghost of silver jeans, the slender fleeting phantom of US 17. From deep of sleep I wake at dawn, but as I wake I find a distant wave still breaking on the west coast of my mind. Time casts its grand illusion, such glimpses we're allowed. You were beautiful then, sweet angel. You're way more beautiful now.
.1 WBSD Burlington, Tom Gilding. You just heard Beautiful Now, and that ends part 1 of our interview with Mike Scott. And next week we'll be playing a part 2 of Waterboys, Modern Blues.
have loved to take her out, but I was too shy to ask. The fullness of my feeling was never made clear. But I sent her my love and a bang on the ear. Nora was my girl when I first was in a group. I can still see her to this day, stirring chicken soup. Now she's living in Australia, working for an auctioneer. But I send her my love and a bang on the ear. Deborah broke my heart and I the willing fool. I fell for her one summer on the road to Liverpool. I thought it was forever, but it was over within the year. Oh dear. But I sent her my love and the bang on the ear. The home I made with Bella became a house of pain. We weathered it together, bound by a ball and chain. It started up in Fife, it ended up in tears. But I sent her my love and a bang on the ear. Crystal was a rover, from Canada she hailed. We crossed swords in San Francisco, we both lived to tell the tale. I don't know now where she is, oh, but if I had her here, I'd give her my love and a bang on the ear. I watch you lightly sleep and I sense the dream that doesn't fold like gold. You to me are treasure, you to me are dear. So I'll give you my love and a bang on the ear.
.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here along with,
Sawyer Gilding.
and this is part 2 of our interview with Mike Scott, the Waterboys, Modern Blues, and we're going to start off this week with Destinies Entwined.
Her point of view was radical, more than just a change of plan. She sold me her proposal, which I did not understand. She said the secret's in the road. I tried to decode the signs and followed her for 7 years, all eyes and ears, our destinies entwined. Our destinies entwined. The new land lay like Eden underneath my hungry feet. Its trees were tall, its people all so noble in defeat. Men were digging, men were building, men were killing time. I took a spade and volunteered, a pioneer. Our destinies entwined. Our destinies entwined. I made a stand on principle, but I had not grasped the facts. One folly breeds another. I made all the wrong contacts. I fell in with strange company, for their armor it did shine. I took the only path I knew, they took it too. Our destinies entwined. Our destinies entwined. While all men shouted black is white and swore that good is ill, I saw 3 crosses pierce the sky above a distant hill. The sky burned red as I turned of sleep. Across the theater of my mind, a passing thought did creep, that love is all and all is love, love infinitely kind. I woke and glimpsed through prison bars, a billion stars, our destinies entwined. Our destinies entwined. Our destinies entwined. Hey, hey, hey!
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here. You just heard Destinies Entwined, the opening track off the Waterboys album with Mike Scott and Modern Blues. And Sawyer?
Okay, I just wanted to start off by asking you, Mike, about this song, because I also love this song. This is a great song, and it seems like the kind of story of the song goes a lot of places, so I was wondering if you could elaborate about what the song kind of entails.
Do you know, Sawyer, when I was writing the song, I didn't really know what it was about. It was a collection of short episodes that seemed to go together as a story, and one thing led to another, and I didn't really know where it was going. And then I read a review in Mojo magazine, which is the top rock and roll magazine here in Britain, and the reviewer said it's a song about hard-won spiritual freedom. And I guess that is what it's about. The guy at the end of the song, he's done things that have taken him into opposition with human laws, but into harmony with spiritual or universal laws, and he's paid for it. He's in some kind of prison, yet he feels united or allied with the whole forces of the universe. So he's made his decisions, and they've been tough ones, but it's worked out for him in a soulful way. And I didn't really see that was what the song was about until that review hit.
That's even more beautiful, and it's the line, if anyone doesn't know, I woke and glimpsed through prison bars a billion stars, our destinies entwined. That's a great line. I also, because I listened to it, periodically, and I'd hear one thing, and I'd think, okay, and then I'd hear the next one, and I said, oh, that sounds like the Pioneers, and it's a great song. It's very, I guess the word epic comes to mind.
Yeah, I think it's epic, too.
I made a stand on principle, but I had not grasped the facts. One folly breeds another. I made all the wrong contacts. It's Yeats. That's Yeats.
No, that's Scott.
Mike Scott here, Waterboys, brand new album, Modern Blues. Mike, could you tell us how people can get a hold of this album?
Any way they like. They can find it online. It's through a reputable record label. It should be in the shops.
A lot of people are familiar with the Waterboys from back in Fisherman's Blues, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, or Hole of the Moon, and on. But this new album, I'm telling you, Mike, I love Fisherman's Blues. I love Best of the Waterboys. This is a good one. This is a one of the best, if not the best. It's just solid. And then you come up with something, I Can See Elvis, which we're going to play next. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Where did that come from?
I was having a conversation in a dressing room 7 or 8 years ago, And at the time we had a very witty drummer from Australia called Damon. And we were talking about near-death experiences. You know those things where people, maybe someone's been in a car crash or has been very ill and they lose consciousness and they see themselves going down a tunnel to a light at the end of the tunnel. And then somehow they come back to life and they're able to tell the story of what they experienced. A near-death experience. And Damon was pretending to be a guy having that experience. And he went to the end of the tunnel and he knew he was in heaven because, as he said, I can see Elvis. And then and I liked that. I thought it was very funny. Of course, it was the way that the guy told it.
Yeah.
And I liked the phrase, I can see Elvis. And I thought, there's a song in that. A song about finding yourself in heaven. And then it became an account of what Elvis would be up to in the afterlife.
Well, here it is.
Then I considered, well, what kind of Elvis would he be? And I figured he wasn't going to be the sap Elvis of the movies or the overweight Elvis from the last years. He'd be a cool, sharp, countercultural Elvis, a rebel Elvis.
Break out the bunting.
Almost skinny like he was in 57.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to slit the throat of that skinflint the Colonel.
I love all of the references to famous people and Joan of Arc and Plato and all these people in this song doing kind of comical things.
Yeah,
it's great.
And why not?
Yeah.
Charlie Parker, all thumbs. John Lennon doing handstands. But Elvis would be doing that. He would be talking. Well, anyway, here it is. I Can See Elvis. Modern Blues, the album, The Waterboys.
I can see Elvis, skinny like he was back in 57, razor quiffed and leather squeezed, sideburns flickering in the breeze that blows across the veils of heaven. I can see Elvis, throned like a king, astride a golden Harley, smoking a reefer he just rolled, full of Acapulco gold, with Hendrix, Dean, and Marley. I can see Elvis, prowling like a cat across a funky bandstand. Keith Moon behind him banging drums, Charlie Parker all thumbs, John Lennon doing handstands. I can see Elvis talking philosophy and law with Joan of Arc and Plato, quizzing Shakespeare on his plays, showing Crazy Horse and Marvin Gaye how to dance the mashed potato. I can see Elvis hunting, looking for a special prey who only just arrived up here today. Break out the bunting, I can see Elvis, he's writing something down in a little leather journal, and here are all the words he wrote. I am going to slit the throat of that skinflint, the colonel. I can see Elvis, 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 Elvis, Elvis.
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here along with
Sawyer Gilding.
I Can See Elvis. Mike Scott had some explaining to do there about that one, but I think he did well. The Modern Blues is the brand new album. He's writing something down in a little leather journal, and here are the words he wrote. I'm going to slit the throat of Skinflint the Colonel. You got a good, but you do have a good sense of humor, and that's kind of floated all the way through your albums as well.
I like putting little jokes into songs. At least I like making myself smile.
Yeah, and
That's what it's all about.
this next one off the album is A Girl Who Slept for Scotland. There has to be a story in this one based on truth.
Oh yeah, this is an autobiographical song about an old girlfriend of mine who was very hard to wake up in the mornings.
I remember seeing you at concert, you telling about this song, and it was kind of one of the highlights of the show. Well, here it is, The Girl Who Slept for Scotland.
I tried to sleep upon my back so I could hold her all night long, as in my arms she slept. Alas, but no, I couldn't. And when daybreak came and found her at the far side of the bed, I tried to wake her, tried to stir her, but she wouldn't. In her fug she lay like someone dead, and even when I'd tug her head and press and nip and agitate and shake her, or call her name or whisper it against her ear, my breath warm, there were no words in this universe would wake her. The girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland. Took me time to comprehend this state of play extended. A unto all her working, waking, shaking hours. For when she finally woke deep in the day, still she did sleepwalk like a hollow ghost afloat in haunted towers. And though she heard, she didn't see, and though she saw, she didn't hear, attending only to what seemed precise and kind. For she was settled in her dream, a shopping list of small illusions, pretty stories that she told her drowsy mind. The girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland. Yet I remember a day by a river wild, when she clung to me hard like a darling child, and a night in the sheets of a Dublin bed, when she moaned like a woman and gave sweet head, when we sang in tongues together and our synchronized guitars played music to the rafters and made love among the stars, and our bodies beat like light in love's beautiful embrace, as her tiny kisses burst like popping suns around my face. But then drift, decline, collapse, the lights went out, she fell asleep again before my kiss-wet face was even dry. I need another haircut, she'd say, talking in her sleep, the sleep motes gathered in the dust bowls of her eye. She teetered down the road of peace, she and her man from cozy beds at Lent to junk shop with her sleeping clothes in sacks. And when I'd gone, she teetered down the road again, yawning as she went, and went and brought the bloody damn things back. The girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland, the girl who slept for Scotland.
.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here, along with
Sawyer Gilding.
an age difference, by the way. Mike is I'm in my 60s. Let's just leave it at that. And Sawyer just turned
17.
And that is the range of your music.
Okay, cool.
Pretty
Your
much.
audience.
And I go way back listening to the Waterboys in the 80s. And I said at the station here we were digging out the music, and we have every one of your albums. I don't know if anyone else can say that, including.
I've got them all.
Oh, you've got them. Do you have all the World Party albums?
No, I might have one World Party. I think I might have their first album.
Yeah, we have all of those too. And I was kind of looking off all the groups, Mike, that have kind of spun off from your group, and it really is amazing. And you should be proud of that too.
Oh, I am, yeah.
And we've been talking about a lot of things here, and my wife would be really mad at me if I didn't ask you about her favorite song of all time, not just Waterboys, one of her favorite songs of all time, A Man Is in Love, off Room to Roam. Can you tell us a little about that?
It was written about an old friend of mine who had fallen in love. He was a real womanizer kind of a guy, and it was really unusual for him to be in a tender place, and that's what sparked the song.
And then you decided to add, what is it? I don't know how you say it over in England. Is it, we say calliope or is it calliope?
Calliope House, yes. It's a Scottish jig that comes in at the end. And that came about because when we were first rehearsing the song, our flute player, who was a very talented Scottish musician called Colin Blakey, just voluntarily went into this jig as we finished the song. And I thought, man, that was magic.
Okay. So that kind of just happened.
Yeah.
That's great. A Man Is in Love. And listeners, if you've not heard this song, it's kind of a blast from the past here. It's on a couple albums, Room to Rome, and also Best of the Waterboys, 81 to 90. It finished off the album in a dramatic way. And wait for the ending. Here is A Man Is in Love.
Man is in love. How do I know? He came and walked with me, and he told me so. In a song he sang, and then I knew a man is in love with you. A man is in love. How did I hear? I heard him talk too much. Whenever you're near, he whispered your name when his eyes were closed. A man is in love, and he knows. Man is in love. How did I guess? I figured it out while he was watching you dress. He'd give you his all if you but agree. A man is in love, and he's me. I'll wrap up when winter blows, and wherever I'm a-going, I'll go in search of a rose.
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here, along with
Sawyer Gilding.
And we're talking with Mike Scott of the Waterboys. They're taking you way back to Room to Roam and the best of the Waterboys, A Man Is in Love, and Calliope House. And the new album we're featuring is Modern Blues, but we just had to go back there for a second or two. And A Man Is in Love, a great, great song. You was a young boy, were you kind of around a lot of music, Celtic music, or how did that all happen?
No, that hit me later. I never listened to Celtic music when I was a kid. I thought it was really square music. All I was interested in was rock and roll and soul music. And then when I moved to Ireland in my late 20s, I began to get turned on to Irish music. And Steve Wickham, our fiddler, had joined the band. And sometimes in between songs and rehearsals, he would play an Irish jig. And at first, it just all sounded a bit fiddly-diddly to me. But then my ears began to discern the tunes and the nuances of the tunes. And I got pulled into it. And then as I got deeper and deeper into it, I realized there was a whole world of music. The Celtic music world was a really beautiful and wild place. So I went very deeply into it for several years, and you can really hear it on those albums, Fisherman's Blues and Room to Roam records.
Can you tell us a little bit about when things kind of really took off with Waterboys with Fisherman's Blues?
Well, the first bit of success we got was with the previous record, This Is the Sea.
The Whole of the Moon.
Which was, that was our third album. But the thing was, everybody who was involved, the management, the agent, the record label, they all wanted us to keep making the same music. But the band had changed, and Wickham had come in with his fiddle, and I was frustrated making this multi-layered music in the studio that I couldn't reproduce on stage. And I wanted to make simpler music that we could play live in a studio or on stage, and it wouldn't sound any different. I wanted it just to sound authentic wherever we were. So I started playing more acoustic guitar, and we started playing country music and blues and gospel. And it changed the sound, and it took us a whole different direction with the Fisherman's Blues record. And it's very exciting musically.
It is. And I got to bolt in here for a second. I think one of my favorite songs from the whole Waterboys catalog is the second song off the Fisherman's Blues album, We Will Not Be Lovers. It's just, it's like a wild song, it goes a lot of places. It's really good.
Yeah, one of my favorites too. And that song happened as an improvisation. I had the lyric and the two chords that the song's based on, but I'd never played them before with the band. And we were in the studio one day. We were working with a vintage American producer called Bob Johnson. He's the guy that produced Dylan's mid-'60s albums. And he was a real wild guy, and he was yelling and getting his atmosphere going in the studio. And it just struck me that it was time to bring out this song. And I started strumming it, and Wickham on his fiddle and Thistlethwaite on his mandolin came up with this riff on the spot, and we recorded it exactly as you hear it on the record.
And that's the one I saw when I went to your show live. When I heard it again, I was like, oh, I know this song. It kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
That is what we call a standout, that's for sure. And on Fisherman's Blues, Strange Boat, World Party, Sweet Thing, Jimmy Hickey's Waltz, and A Bang on the Ear. Has anybody here seen Hank? When Will We Get Married? When You Go Away? I mean, it's Fisherman's Blues. And we're going to play the title track right now. Again, Tom Gilding with Sawyer Gilding talking to Mike Scott, the Waterboys, Modern Blues, and we will get back to the album right after this one, Fisherman's Blues, title track.
Oh, will fall away at last. And on that fine and fateful day, I will take me in my hand. I will ride on a train. I will be the fisherman with light in my head. You in my arms. Woo-hoo-hoo.
89.1 WBSD Burlington. Tom Gilding here, along with
Sawyer Gilding.
talking with Mike Scott, Waterboys, Modern Blues, and we're featuring this whole album in a two-parter. And thank you so much, Mike, for your time. We really appreciate it. Huge
welcome,
fans.
dudes.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I just said you're welcome, dudes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to hear you say that again. Now, here's one, dare I say, if you allow me to edit this a little bit, we would like to also play this one and chart this one on the air, if it's okay with you. The nearest thing to hip. Which is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah.
It's a little it's not going to be the easiest to play on the radio, but we might have to do a little editing if that's all right with you.
Because it's got the S word.
Yeah.
Do we have your okay?
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
What a great song. How does this come in place? Is this about any particular place?
It actually is. It's a small town in Scotland that I visited several times, and I don't want to say the name of the town because I don't want to get a bad reputation. But every time I went there, one of its cooler shops had closed. And one time I went, the cool cafe had closed. And next time I went, the record shop had closed. Next time I went, the second-hand bookshop had closed. And I thought, man, this is like this town is just going to sleep.
It reminds me of the Ray Davies song "Come Dancing" when they tear down the Pally, you know. And, it's the nearest thing to hip, and they tore it down.
Yeah.
In this blank hole.
I got to ask, because it's... I know you've talked about Charlie Parker in the past songs. I think you talk about him in this song, and there's a little snippet at the end of Jack Kerouac, I think, reading poetry. Yeah,
well, it's really a prelude for Long Strange Golden Road.
Okay.
It's Kerouac reading from his novel On the Road.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. And I know you mentioned in another song, I think, I don't remember which one, but you mentioned Dean Moriarty's Ghost, I know, in one. There's a lot of that, because that's what it is. I just finished reading that book, and then I listened to this album, and I caught all these little hints to it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I told you, Mike, he's been listening to it more than I have.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that when you go out and you see a lot of young people in the audience?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and they're getting to and they don't know the Waterboys like I know the Waterboys, and that's probably a good thing.
I'm not proud.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
I'm not proud to say this at all, but I didn't really know your music at all before I went to the concert, and I think that was the best way to get introduced, because seeing you and the Waterboys perform live, it's just, there's some sort of magic that kind of takes over the whole room.
Thank you. I'm glad you got that.
got Steve Wickham, who's amazing. Listeners, performers live on the Fuzzfiddle, I think he calls it, and then the keyboards is you call them Brother Paul.
Yeah.
And
he's off the scale, man, Brother Paul.
Yeah, he is. He is. It's the best.
Can people
see? They've got the wild side of the stage, and then on the other side we've got David Wood on bass and Zach on lead guitar. They're the straight men. They're the sensible side.
There's a lot of movement on that one side of the stage. There's no question about it. The nearest thing to hip, Modern Bluesy album, The Waterboys.
Cafe a few blocks away, open 7 days, called The Brilliant Mistake. We're a crow-haired girl with scarlet lips and slender hips, served up coffee and cake. On a crackling stereo, the ghosts of Sun Ra, Charlie Parker, Miles, and Coltrane Blue. I'd kick back in my chair, that sweet honeyed jazz in the air, and the sun shining through. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in this shithole. And it's gone. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in that hole. And it's gone. Well, everywhere that I go, I see streets that are low on distinction and high on the banal and the bland. How did we get to this? We plumbed the abyss by the twisted grace of the law of supply and demand. Well, there's no use crying and no use sighing over stone, wood, wire, glass, and cement. But there's a little record store with a wooden floor that ain't there no more, that I used to frequent. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in this shithole. And it's gone. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in this shithole. And it's gone. Bar that I once knew, with an old-fashioned barman wearing old-fashioned clothes. But when I get there, it's being bulldozed. So I follow my nose down Comatose Lane through the stripped-back, ripped-up wastes of woe-begone square. I find myself on Deadbeat Street, my feet beginning to ache, despair in the air. The only thing bright in this blighted town are the billboard adverts, everywhere displayed like mocking shades. Musty, dusty second-hand bookshop is now a scum-encrusted amusement arcade. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in this shithole. And it's gone. It was the nearest thing to hip. It was the nearest thing to hip in this shithole. And it's gone.
Out we jumped in the warm, mad night, hearing a wild tenor man's bawling horn across the way, hands clapping to the beat, and folks yelling, "Go, go, go!" And far from escorting the girls into the place, Dean Moriarty was already racing across the street with his huge bandaged thumb in the air, yelling, "Blow, man, blow!" And a bunch of colored men in Saturday night suits were whooping it up in front, and the behatted tenor man was blowing at the peak of a wonderfully satisfactory free idea.
The nearest thing to hip. Modern Blues, the album, The Waterboys. Again, Mike, how can people get a hold of this album and maybe punch up a video or two?
Well, they find us on YouTube. You just have to do the things that people do these days. Put the Waterboys into Google or Amazon or YouTube, and they'll find us.
Very good. Well, we really appreciate you giving us this time. I know you have a busy schedule, and we just are totally enjoying this album. And I've been a Waterboys fan forever, and fell in love with all your albums. But wow, this one really knocked my socks off. We went in a whole nother direction, and I'm loving it. Sawyer, 17 years old.
I feel exactly the same way. I've listened to pretty much all of the older albums, and the new one, it's equally as good, if not better, and it's totally new, which I don't think ever happens with bands, so congratulations on the great music.
Thank you very much.
I do have one obscure question, and I don't know if you know about it, but the Waterboys Glastonbury Song album, you talk about Burlington Birdie. We're from Burlington, Wisconsin.
Right, okay.
Yeah, is that? Can we take that as an honorary title?
Oh, please do. Burlington Bertie was a character in the English Music Hall in the 1920s, and there's an old song about Burlington Bertie, and I remember it from my childhood. So that's where that came from.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're going to claim it here in Burlington.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike, a lot. I appreciate it. Sawyer, any parting shots for Mike before we take off and let him get going?
Thank you for talking to us and enlightening us about all of your great music, and wish you well.
Thanks, man. Thanks, both of you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Mike, a lot. Again, the brand new album, Modern Blues, The Waterboys, and we're going to play out with November Tale, and if we can sneak in the Hole of the Moon or Bang in the Ear or We Will Not Be Lovers, we'll probably do that too. Thanks again.
Thanks. So long.
Bye now.
Bye.
Arrived with its expression of her feeling. I swear I had no idea she'd been holding and concealing such a storm of words unsaid that, absurd as it appears, had been blowing in her head for 27 years. I knew I had to face her, so I grabbed my Davy Crockett, threw a scarf around my neck and $20 in my pocket. Found her in the same old place, pamphlet in her fist. When she saw my windblown face, she said, "Well, look at who it is. Meet me on the match parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the Harlequin and the clown. That we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down." In the gray November light, she was older, still alluring, her hair gray and longer than it ever had been during the days we loved and slept in her bed of painted wood, in the little place she kept in a crumbling neighborhood. With walked along a while like we were old companions, but I could feel the gulf between us yawning like a canyon. She with her turgent code, her extravagant beliefs, me a creature of the road, a child of dust and grief. Meet me on the mad parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the harlequin and the clown. Part all the blunders that we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down. She smoked a cigarette and blue smoke rings at the ceiling. Said, if your problem is long-standing, man, why don't you try kneeling? By your face I see you're still a sinner in the mist, setting up your little will as king in place of his. I said, I've heard about sin down the long wheels of ages, a cracked book of lies with 1,000 twisted pages. Then I looked her in the eye and asked her clear and plain, if your religion was a lie, then what would remain? She said, I've got my beating heart and 2 loving hands to heal with, and there's nothing in my day that I ain't got the strength to deal with. I said, darling, I profess the same applies to me, and as for all the rest, we agreed to disagree. Meet me on the mad parade when the midnight bells are chiming. We'll dress up as the harlequin and the clown. Pile all the blunders that we've made in a tower too tall for climbing, and we'll burn the damn thing down. Yes, we'll burn the damn thing down. I pictured a rainbow. You held it in your hands. I had flashes, but you saw the plan. I wandered out in the world for years while you